Yeah, wonderful. Well, welcome everybody to our Monday night JP University call. This call is, for all of you partners, kind of help you in your businesses and help, help get you over some of the obstacles that are in your way, or things that, or even just guide you for information of how to respond to people in that. So tonight we are talking about handling objections. And I have to tell you, this is one of those things that has challenged me in the past. And the day when I've been a partner with Juice Plus for, gosh, 7 or 8 years. And when I first came in, it was kind of taught like you'd be on the defensive and you'd kind of talk people into things. And that is not how we handle things now. Nobody wants to be talked at. They want to be part of the conversation. So it's really important to Nikki is always saying, the zip it, that you're, talking with them and listening to them. Don't listen in order to respond to them. Listen in order to hear what their concerns are in that. But, the first thing I wanted to ask and have you kind of think about is if you think about kind of what holds you back the most from either reaching out in the first place to talk to people or in doing follow-ups, is this, the handling objections, one of those things that really holds you back? Because for me, that is always, was the case. I was just kind of concerned, like, what if they say this and how will I respond to it? So does anybody else feel that way, that that's one of the things that you kind of, Nancy? Yeah.
Well, none of us like to be told no. And so then when it's our business and we know how good it is, that's a double whammy.
Right. Yeah, that is because, we know what we know, but they don't. And we have to find a way to portray that to them so that they can understand. And what are I just want to ask you, like, what are some of the primary objections that you get when you're talking with people? And does anybody want to offer up?
I'd say finance. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, Maureen?
That it's too expensive. They'll say it just is too expensive for them.
Yeah, and I think the same one that Carrie just mentioned is the finances, that people are, concerned about that. What other things? Shelley, I saw your screen light up there.
It in the chat. It's too expensive. That's what a lot of them say. A lot of them also say, well, I don't want to commit to like the recurring because I don't know if I'll like it. I want to say, well, what is there not to like about it?
Well, we know this, but we have to portray it to them.
Have you ever gotten, I eat plenty of fruits and veggies?
Yes,
all the time.
Yeah. And then Nancy, it looks like you had oh, we're not hearing you, Nancy. No, dang. We're not hearing you. So oh, I just heard that.
I had to unplug my speakers.
Uh-huh.
I have actually a few people who they just forget to take them. I have one gal, I have to send her a reminder every day at 1:30.
Wow.
So I have it on my phone, and finally Sunday I said to her, don't you have a reminder thing, like a timer on your phone that you can do this? But she wasn't taking it at all because she kept forgetting. So I have no problem sending her a reminder. I think she's got it now, but I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I had a couple people do that. They forget. They don't. And it's like, well, just put it by your toothbrush. Well, it says to have it with food. Okay. And
Yes,
I don't understand that, why you have to have it with food if it's food. Is it because it's concentrated? Because it says it on the label.
Yeah, and I don't know why they put that on there, because you really don't have to. I think it's just so that's one of those things of of, often telling people like, yeah, that's a recommendation, but not a must. But with objections, are there a couple other objections that people hear out there?
Yeah, Leslie, I was gonna say, like, I hear sometimes I'm too busy, or I'm not a salesperson.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Absolutely. So yeah, so there's a lot of different objections that we hear. And so one of the things to do, and I know that we have been taught a lot of saying the feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found. And that is a great way for some of those objections, especially ones where they're like, oh, I forget to take it, or I'm too busy. But sometimes that's not necessarily the best, especially when it comes to things like the expenses, or another one we didn't mention here, but like, oh, I have to talk to my spouse about this. Really, the problem with the feel, felt, found is you're doing most of the talking. And we don't want to be doing most of the talking. People want to talk about themselves. They want to express. So if you can kind of go in first, and especially with things, if they're saying, oh, I'm too busy, of saying, oh, tell me about that. Like what all do you have going on? Hearing them and what they have going on in their life. Even when we're talking about cost and expenses, and kind of just asking them questions, and help me understand, how do you ask things about their family health, or gee, does it impact your family at all when you have kids who are sick and things. So find ways and be genuine, come from your heart. If you're coming from your heart, then people are going to feel that, and you're not going to be sounding salesperson-y. That's one of the things that has really always been one of my struggles, was feeling like, oh, I don't want them to think I'm a salesperson. But let's be honest, we are selling them. We know how wonderful and good this is. We know we have a gift to offer, so we want to share it with them. But we can do it in a way that doesn't feel icky, that doesn't feel like we're pushing it or that. And that really comes with having that genuine conversation and listening to them about what their concerns are and things of that sort. I want to kind of keep an eye on our time. I'd like to do a little bit of role play, and I know Sandy has offered to help out some with that, because she feels really comfortable with this topic, and it's great. We just spent the last week in some trainings with Brandon Barber, and I have to tell you, if you feel uncomfortable about anything, is investing in yourself and doing some of these trainings to really get to the root of why you have objections yourself, or have problems with that. That is one of the best investments you can make. But
yeah. And I was going to say, I haven't always been that comfortable, and sometimes I still get stumped, but you just never can go wrong with asking questions and saying, kind of leaning in and saying, tell me more, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe you've had an experience, tell me about that.
Yeah. So if you want, Sandy, we can do a little bit of a role play here. And I'd like to, at the end, I really want to show you where you can go to get some great responses, because I don't know how many of you here are on boards. Like, boards has been wonderful. It's a great place to go. So I'd love to kind of share my screen and show you that at the very end. But okay, Sandy, so we're going to handle some objections, and I'm going to throw the first one out. I'm the complaining person who doesn't want anything to do with what you're talking about, and I'm like, is that one of those network marketing things?
Oh, tell me about that. That just sounds like there's a story behind there. Do you have an experience with network marketing?
I don't myself, but I've had friends that have been in those, and they're awful. They're just awful, because they take so much time and nobody makes money. It's just the people at the top that make money. And, it just, I don't like it. You have to constantly be working, and, you never get ahead. Like, if you don't keep your sales up, then you get demoted. And I don't even like that kind of stuff. I've just heard nothing but negative.
That doesn't sound fun to me either. So tell me what's important to you though. If you were to start something new, what would you be looking for?
Well, honestly, I think the only thing that would attract me is something that I'm really helping people and like filling a need for them, and not, I don't want to be a salesperson. Like I don't like sales. I don't want to be a salesperson. And it'd have to be something where I could actually, get a benefit from it and actually make some money.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So if I could show you a way where you could be impacting and helping people and making some good reward money from that, would that be something that would interest you?
Possibly, but I don't think it exists.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you, because I kind of was the same way when I first took a peek at the Juice Plus business. But I do have some great videos that are stories of people that they are successful, and they have made a difference in their world. I can share with you my story. I can also send you a video where people actually share what it has meant to them. And I'll just tell you, for me, I was in bad shape. And I didn't even know I was waiting for someone to tell me about this incredible company. But when my friend told me about a way to get more fruits and veggies in capsules, I was skeptical, but that's what I was needing. And so when my family and I started feeling so much better, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Every time my friend talked to me about the business, I did this. No, because I didn't like sales either. I was in ministry, for crying out loud, right? But what I found was that there's nothing more important than, besides helping people with their soul, to helping them feel better and really impact their bodies. And I kind of felt, after I had been helped so much, that I had that responsibility. So I don't know if this would be for you, but would you be open to watching a video? Oh, and by the way, successful. I know a lot of people that are successful, including myself. So would you be open to a little more information?
Sure, it wouldn't hurt. I can have some information.
Yeah.
So,
And it may not be for you, but maybe you'll think of someone that is looking for what we offer.
that's true. I've heard, I've got a friend who likes that sort of thing. So great, Sandy. And I want to point out a couple things that Sandy did there, because she's really using all of the techniques that we talked about. She asked questions. She didn't just start going straight at me. She asked questions first. Did you notice how she put her hand over her heart? Like, that's really, like, that's a genuine, I'm coming from my heart, and people pick up on that and they know that that's, so leaning into them and letting them see your genuineness. She also gave me that return of investment of, when you start putting this nutrition in your body, like, it does amazing things. So, yeah, you can. And then, once you did the questions and return of investment, you did the feel, felt, found. And so that was awesome. So, so how about if I were to come back and say, you've shared all this information with me, and taken a lot of time, and I come back and say, I need to talk to my spouse. I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm not making any decisions. I'm going to talk to my spouse.
I think that's awesome. I think it's really important, if you're going to embark on something, to have your spouse's support. And so we always encourage that. And I know my husband has been super supportive of me doing this. If you'd want to get on a call where he could, talk to my husband, that would be great. Otherwise, we've got some videos of men and why they believe in it for themselves, and also partnering or their spouse doing the business. So I could also send you something like that. What would be the best way for your husband to learn a little bit more, to make an educated decision to support you?
You're probably, if he were to see either the videos or talk with somebody himself, like, I think that then maybe he'd see what the value is of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's excuse me. So again, it's like getting into asking them, like, what does your husband, what kind of information could he use, making it about them like that.
Yeah, and if he already had some negative things that he said, that would be a great way or a great time to dive into those kind of questions. So what are his concerns? Is he afraid he won't have a wife? That you'll be just gone, and just kind of finding what those concerns are so that we could meet those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then one thing I really liked that I learned from Brandon Barber in the JP Ignite challenge that we did last week is for people that bring up that objection about, well, I need to talk to my spouse, is kind of saying, well, you've learned all this stuff, it, like, can you maybe ask for your if you totally believe in this and what a benefit this would be to your family, perhaps you ask your spouse for his support in your decision, not asking permission, not putting it on him, because he would be making a decision without the information that you have gotten from all of that. So I think I like that way too.
And I think that's good for when you're talking to someone about their doctor. Like, I want to ask my doctor's permission. So think of the liability that gives a doctor when he's asked that question. Is it safe for me to take this? Well, he doesn't know what that is. And it might be his default because it could put him liable, right? So it might be his default to say no. And kind of with the husband, when you ask permission, they might.
Yes, so beautiful.
Can we, everybody who's on, can you mute your phone line?
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah, Carrie, if you were able to mute phone lines, that would be great.
Awesome. Okay, so
so do you want to do one? Okay, we have to unmute ourselves. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. What other one? We have time to do one more. What would you like that to be?
I just noticed that Erica had the question, how do you start convos with people? When I try, I get crickets or ghosted. So I'm never able to get anywhere.
Okay. And and you said that was coming from Erica. One thing that I do, and this is not my full-time business, I do my Juice Plus because I want to bless people and love on people. And I so totally believe in this. And I think starting the conversations, like an easy one, is if there's somebody who has complained about their health. I use this all the time when I'm with clients for a different business. If they're going to start griping about their aches and pains with arthritis, then I'm going to start asking them about that and how much it impacts them. And then say, I may know something that could really help you. Would you be open to information? So I think it's easier to start conversations with people when you know that they already have a need. You could even see, if you're on social media, Facebook and things like that. I have seen people last week, a couple of friends having this whole discussion about digestion problems and, living off of omeprazole and all of that. And what a great opening is you could send a private message of saying, hey, I noticed that you were struggling with XYZ. How is that going? Have you found a solution for that? What have you tried that's worked? Yeah. Getting in a genuine conversation with them, letting them talk and hearing their story, and then asking permission. It's like, I may know something that could be of benefit to you. Would you be open to me sharing some information?
Yeah.
And then asking what's the best way for you? Like, do you want email, Facebook Messenger, text message? I think that's a lot easier, is to start those conversations when you know there's a need. Either they've got sick kids all the time. Hey, I noticed like your kids are missing dance a lot because they're always out sick. Like, does everybody in your family, are you all catching colds and flus? How's that impacting you? Does that, are you missing work when your kids are sick? Gee, I may know something that could be a benefit. Would you be open to me sharing information with you? So looking for those spaces where you can have genuine conversation and feeling a need for them. I think that's really the best versus a cold call, like, hey, I'm doing this. You need to listen to me.
Erica, was that helpful? She may not be able to answer.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get-
that was helpful. Thank you.
And I
Okay.
know as a massage therapist, you're working on people. And do you, before or during, are you able to ask them some questions, like how they've been feeling, how their health's going, how their kids are?
Yeah, so I have questions in my intake form too, but everybody just blows off all those questions
Oh,
because they're not here to they're not coming to talk about nutrition or their health. They're coming because they want to relax.
Ah,
So I have it in my intake form and they just blow it off.
do you ever
uh-huh.
go over the intake form with them and just kind of redirect to a couple of those questions?
I sometimes do, yeah. So
Yeah, that would be a good way. We just have a couple minutes. I'd like to share my screen and just show you how easy it is to know how to handle objections, because let me figure out where my screen is. It's one of these boards, Google. Yes, that should be it, share. Aha. So if you have boards, then this will make sense and you'll know how to do it. If you do not have boards, please talk to your upline and they can help you get boards, because, oh my gosh, this has been a game changer. Like anytime that I'm struggling and you've got like, I don't know how to say that. It's so easy to find stuff. I'm going to back out a little bit. This is the HeatTeam Board. And it's an app, and you can have this on your phone, which is perfect because if you're out and about just doing life and you run into somebody, you can easily find an answer and send them information. So if you'll go to your HeatTeam Board and you go down to Sharing Juice Plus and Tower Garden, and then scroll to the bottom, there's a whole entire little thing here on handling objections. And what's totally cool is it has, here's something about like kids won't take Juice Plus. Have you ever heard that? It's like, oh, my kids won't take Juice Plus. So like, I'm not going to bother. You can click on that and it gives you verbiage to use and just ask them, what do you do when the doctor asks them to take a medicine to get healthy? Do you make them, do you make sure that they take this? This is Mother Nature's medicine. And, I'd like to make sure my kids take it. And you can share with them things like with the health family health study that after 1 year, 61% kids are eating more fruits and vegetables, 71% consuming less fast foods. You can use this as just a conversation thing to get ideas. But I love that when they're like, oh, my kids won't take it. It's like, if it were a prescribed medicine, you'd make sure they did. So that's a good one. I like this. What if they say no? Because that's I think all of our fear is if they say no, it's like, what do we do? You know what? Sometimes people, it's a soft no, like, oh, I don't have time to think about this. I just can't make a decision. No worries at all. Like, I completely understand. Would you mind if I circle back around in another month or so and just see if things have changed and, if you've got more time?
And also it says, can I keep you on my list to share health information and events? That's usually the crux behind so many of these questions, is they just don't know what they don't know. So
Exactly.
if you can get permission to continue to drip on them or love on them, send them information and that type of thing, it's going to help so much.
Yeah, because the thing is, you don't want to just be browbeating them like, don't say no, like you don't know what you're doing. It's like, just respect them, like, no worries, because you don't want to ruin a friendship over this. And honestly, people can say no, and no does not mean leave me alone, never speak to me again about it, which is how I used to always take it. It means not right now. So, asking permission to kind of keep them on that list, to follow up with them, is a great thing. And things may change. Things may change a year from now. They could have some health crisis, and it's a great time to reach back out to them. But you always want to let them know that you're going to respect their time and not not be overly pushy about it. And I love that. Keep you on the list, because we all have great events that we could think of and come back up with it. Here's is it a pyramid or MLM? I love that one, because I used to always have the knee-jerk reaction of like, oh my God, that's like something bad. They may not be asking for that. So don't assume that they have a negative opinion. They may be looking for an MLM or type of product. They may love that. So, you can pull up the script and have ways to combat that. But the first thing, ask questions. Like, yes, it's a form of network marketing. What do you know about this? Or what, just as Sandy had said, do you have an experience with that? What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it? So don't make assumptions, but please use the boards, because this is such a great, look here, we've got, are they a vitamin taker already? Because some people are like, I take my multivitamin.
Yeah.
This will give you verbiage you can use for people like that to help out. So I hope that is helpful. I'm going to stop my share.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So my name is Dina, and
Okay, you're cutting out. Are you hearing?
No.
No.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, Dina.
Oh, was it
no,
Dina?
hold on. Let's go back this way.
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Okay,
now we
we can
can.
hear
I'm gonna sit still. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
So there's a young lady just when she was speaking, I swear I was like, "Ooh, I love her objections." She's like, "Oh, they fill out a questionnaire and they're just there to relax." So I heard 2 objections there. So I wanted to share with Erica. I'm going to fix problems. That's what I'm going to do. So what I saw when Erica said that is, first of all, I get it. People are going to get massage or to get their session and relax. But what she can do, some ideas, is she can keep her bottles out in her studio so that it can create some dialogue, number 1. Number 2, if you genuinely ask how people are doing, they're going to tell you how they feel. And as we all know here, people love to talk about themselves. So as you're listening to your clients speak, there's always a way where you can find an entry point to talk about nutrition and health and wellness. So I'd say more, but the wind is pretty crazy, but I'd love to talk more with her, because I'm like, ooh, I bet you I can sell one of her clients, because that's just the way I am.
That's awesome. Yeah, and very, very helpful. Well, we are out of time here because we like to keep these down to about 20 minutes and respect your time. And we know it's dinner hour. I hope this has been helpful. If you don't have boards, ask your upline, because that's something that you really need to do. And just go out from your heart, go out and have conversations and care about people, listen to them, listen to hear what their needs are, not to respond and not to be the main person talking, and you're going to do great. So
Thank you, Leslie. This was
Thank
great.
you, Leslie.
and thank you so much for your help, Sandy, and
Thank
Carrie
you.
also.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you
Leslie.
very much.
All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Good night.
Good night.